A Roman force preparing to ambush the Pontic invaders. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Total War Rome 2. Today we are diving in with a really cool battle taken from a head-to-head of one of you guys who sent it in. You've been playing your own head-to-head Rome vs Pontus in Divide et Impera, and this was one of the battles from them. They were kind enough to send it in to me, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm always looking for fun, interesting battles, some with a little bit of a story behind them. I'll leave the story he wrote down below in the comments so you guys can check it out if you want to get a full idea about what is going to be going on in this battle. But basically, the Romans and the Pontic forces are at war, and the Romans have managed to ambush this army, this kind of somewhat depleted Pontic army. However, Rome, instead of deciding just to kind of collapse on the Pontic forces, they've taken the high ground and they're going to look to kind of whittle down the Pontic forces systematically. So let's go ahead and see how this one does turn out. We're going to click play, dive right into the action. We'll go on slow-mo because there's actually a little bit of action that does go on, and we can actually take a look at a few of what the forces are bringing, because there's actually some pretty unique armies, and I mean the Pontic army is very, very scary. So on the front lines for the Roman player, he has a handful of legionaries. I think he has about 5 units of these legionary forces, and he also has an eagle cohort back here. An eagle cohort with over 300 men in. That is such a scary force to be reckoned with. He also has a handful of these slingers. Are these the slingers? No, maybe he doesn't even have dart slingers. Maybe it's Pontus' slingers. He has a handful of slingers. He also has some of the crossbows from Syracuse. This is an area of recruitment unit. Pretty deadly, can do some serious damage, and great at killing pikemen. He has 2 units of those bad boys. He also has some auxiliaries back here. Again, lightly armored unit, but it's going to help out massively in the fight. He has a general unit back there, and then also some Spartan hoplites as well, so taken from the lands of Sparta, conscripted into the Roman army. And then finally, he does also have a veteran legionary unit back here as the rear guard, ready to move in. Then for the forces of Pontus, as the missile fire rains down, well, you can't really see everything he has, but he does have a very good army. He has about 5 units of really good pikemen. He has a handful of these Pontic peltis. He has a unit of Syrian elephants. I mean, I think the rest of his missile force is all just Armenian archers, which again, you guys know if you've watched any of my head-to-heads, are very, very deadly. So the battle is kicking off as the cavalry forces clash in, trying to take out as many of these Armenian archers as possible, looking just to get stuck in, rout them, send them packing. And that's obviously one of the advantages of the ambush, is that you basically get to take out the enemy missiles for free. But it's kind of interesting, right, what the Roman player has done. Instead of just collapsing on, the enemy formation, trying to completely envelop them and break them that way, kind of going for more of that systematic battle, he's opted to be very, very safe with his units. He's held his formation back here. He's tried to look to just get as many volleys off, take out the enemy missiles, and then probably go from there. However, as you can see, Pontic player is the defending player. I assume they have the rules, which are, kind of similar rules that me and Republic of Play with, because they said they really enjoyed them, where the attacking player has to come to Pontic player. Because the Roman player is the aggressor, so this is giving Pontus a good opportunity just to fall back and take this hill right here. This is kind of basically turning the tide. It's like, called an ambulance, but not for me. Now the Roman player is going to have to look to assault this hill, and it's going to be difficult, obviously, as we're getting more of the Pontic units coming into view right now. We obviously have the pikemen, pretty standard across most of the Hellenic factions, that are still very, very deadly indeed. We also have some of the we also have some units from Asia Minor as well right here. The Galatian infantry, very deadly indeed. Super 64 weapon damage. That is absolutely crazy. As the pikes form up, preparing to make their stand, and they're also going downhill as well, which will give them that advantage. We also do have a unit of elephants right here. Not quite sure why it's sticking around here. I'll be just firing off some shots. We also have the fabled DEI Rome 2 pathfinding as well, as they get stuck into the barricades and have to try and bring them down, which again is only aiding the Pontic player. The battle does go on for 20 minutes as well, so I will, we'll triple speed a bit throughout some of it, But yeah, I mean, overall, all of a sudden, this went from an ambush to a field battle now. Which, is only benefiting the Pontic player, considering he was in such a bad position. But now, yes, they're still fighting uphill, but now you've got a bunch of Armenian archers firing out of the woods And that is just a really good situation you want to find yourself in. If you can ever stick in some woods in Divided Impera, you'll need to really, kind of have a huge boost to your missile resistance. I remember in a head-to-head between me and Republic of Play, he had Valeric slingers up against my, not very good slingers, and I was in woods, and I focused fire. I think I maybe, just kind of put more of my missiles into one basket, but even still, I took hardly any casualties from him, and I was just firing shot after shot from the woods. They really do give you a benefit that cannot be dismayed. However, enough missile fire will bring them out of this woodland area and cause some issues. But right now, both sides are just volleying off. We're getting obviously a lot of the missile fire going in. And I mean, once again as well, the crossbows don't exactly have the best range in the entire game, so they're going to have to be pushed back. Obviously, the rest of the Roman legionaries forming that famous testudo. I love to see it. It's a something that doesn't really get to be used too much, because obviously, as soon as someone forms testudo, you're going to stop shooting it so you don't waste your ammunition. But it's great to see it, and I guess we also are seeing the Roman player putting his slingers inside of the Roman formation, so that some of the arrows don't actually hit these guys and they can fire out kind of safely. But a pretty brutal fight. I mean, that looks so beautiful. Divided Impera looks amazing. My reshade I've got on just adds a lot of flavor. And once again, I know I'm going to get asked, I only have these settings on my reshade. Download Reshade Me, download the shaders, and I've only got them 4 on. So it's a really kind of small, minimal addition, and I'm getting 60 FPS right now, so it doesn't really do too much to the system. But yeah, a pretty brutal missile engagement right now. We are also getting some more infantry being shot off, and I wouldn't be surprised, if a Roman player has to be the guy who advances, because them Armenian archers are going to be really, really hurting if left alone. Obviously, you can see a lot of the casualties. Oh, and all of a sudden as well, they're actually no longer visible, which is pretty interesting. Did the Roman player kill the missiles? Because obviously we can't see everything Pontus have, because a lot of it does go invisible when it goes out of line of sight. But yeah, they're just going to hide in the forest, in the dense forest, and force the attackers to actually go to them. The Roman player, though, is having none of it and looking to assault from the flank. That's not a bad idea, right? And there you go. The more of the Armenian archers are now in range. Oh, but look at them crossbows coming in. Pontus is pushing in through, and the crossbow volleys are going to be hammering away. The Roman player did have the full strength army, considering the Pontic player had a handful of casualties before the battle even started. Obviously, this is a campaign battle. But Pontus is going to look to hold this line. The missile fight, is still going in favor, I think, of Pontus. I don't know why I keep on calling them Armenians, because of the archers. So they just need to hold their own. Their archers will win this day, and then eventually Rome will have to move over. Oh, and we're also getting a force moving around the left-hand side, but this cavalry isn't far enough forward, so it can't really see over the hill. What have we got here? This is Peltis? Yeah, Peltis and some Hypassus cavalry as well. They're going to come in as well and just deal with this. Deal with this infantry. However, they probably can't also see the cavalry coming down the hill at them. And now this skirmish cavalry is going to have to get the hell out of here. Missile fire coming in. Luckily, though, even if this Lancer cavalry goes into the Peltis, it's actually not a bad thing to happen, because they're Peltis, They can hold their own. They are going to be able to tie down the cavalry here. And it's really up to Rome to send reinforcements, because if they don't, their Lancer cavalry will not handle. This is just area of recruitment cavalry from Thessaly. And now Pontus is on the assault. Wow, I've never seen this. This is crazy. And instead of just sitting back and letting the fight unfold, Pontus is taking the battle to the Romans, and yeah, literally, call an ambulance. But not for me. The Roman general is fully committed, and Pontus have another full unit of infantry here. And that's going to throw back the Roman general, and he needs to get the hell out of there. However, he's engaged with skirmisher cavalry. Now that skirmisher cavalry is going to be throwing javelin after javelin at him as he tries to fall back behind enemy lines. Luckily, he's Roman, and he's pretty tasty when it comes to that armor value, so he can kind of survive. However, one of the units of cavalry do get stuck in and actually engage into the crossbows, taking them down. The Roman legionaries looking to advance, but The skirmisher cavalry is going to pull out of the battle. Just falling back. It's definitely done its damage. Over on the right-hand side, though, we're going to get reinforcements with Pontus. And right now, the Roman formation is in disarray. I don't think they expected the Pontic army to come flying at them. However, the legionaries, once they do clash into melee combat, are going to be devastating. And you can see they are going to be diving in onto these pelters who are they going to cut through, even if that guy just gets punched to the ground. However, the Roman is going to bring him up, stab him in the stomach, right through the armor. Brutal stuff. The entire Pontus line is now engaged, and the hoplites, the Spartans, are having to deal with the hoplite advance into the pikes. Not going to be a good situation. However, downhill, hoplites do actually do a surprisingly good job at killing pikes. The Romans are doing what Romans do best, outflanking phalanxes and pike walls, managing to get a bit around the side. However, unless they can bring more reinforcements around, it's going to be hard. And Pontus is making it very difficult to do so, throwing in their Galatian infantry against the legionaries and the other, Po Valley mercenaries they have available to them. Very cool indeed to see all the units fighting hard. And yeah, I mean, the Roman infantry is just going to have to cut through, do what they do best. They still have some missiles fighting, which is pretty big. And obviously that Eagle first cohorts. Oh my god, I mean, just look at it. It looks so goddamn good. Absolutely amazing. That Eagle cohort, if it can just get into any infantry unit, if it gets into any pikemen from the back, it's just over. Luckily as well, we do have this unit of veteran pikes fighting the infantry from the front. The Romans are just looking to reinforce, and yeah, I'm just seeing exactly where this unit goes. Hopefully it just goes like into the side there. It will devastate it. At the moment though, it's a bit busy chasing missiles, which probably isn't the best idea for it. How the rest of the front line doing? Romans managing to do anything though. The Romans are being kept at bay by the pikemen. However, they kind of have to be, right? You need to tie down these 3 units and hope that you can bide yourself time for something else. And yeah, here we go. Unit about to come flying into the rear of this Pontic swords. The auxiliary unit should be screening quite nicely. Throwing some javelins into the pikes are going to be invaluable. And this unit over here is going to come flying in. It kind of maybe looks like this unit's decent a little. Hopefully it hasn't. Hopefully it's just fighting that one. And obviously you just don't realize what some units are doing. And we can now see the Eagle being held high, keeping the morale going very nicely across the banks. There you go. Yeah, the unit does turn around now and engage. We also still have a handful of missiles still left remaining. However, the Roman right flank is starting to crumble. The weaker auxiliary units are just no match. And now we are getting some of these awesome, I think these are Thracian axemen. Just ripping through some of the missiles. Yeah, there's so many casualties being brought down right there. And they're able to continue to move around. However, unfortunately, this unit, this poor unit of swords is just completely enveloped by way superior units. It does not stand a chance. The first cohort's reforming after, I think, pulling through. And yeah, it's going to be going pretty soon. However, the Roman front line is pretty goddamn battered. Obviously, fighting pikes head-on is never a good idea, especially as hoplites. If you're playing more of a hoplite wall, you need to be right-clicking, double right-clicking, so that your units move forward. And that's actually a surprising thing that a lot of people don't know about Divided Impera, and I'm not sure if these guys know about it either, is you actually have to micro your phalanxes and pikes. If you want your unit to attack, but stand still, you just click once. If you want your phalanx to move into the enemy, like push the enemy back, you have to double right click on the unit you want to attack, and then that unit will advance forward attacking, which is obviously what you have to do with pikes. You have to be pushing the enemy back, because otherwise you get into a situation like this where neither side's really attacking. So obviously the Pontic guy which wants to click once so the unit's attack stays at range though, and the hoplite player wants to double right click so he pushes in past the pikes and actually can get stuck into the unit. It's a really interesting thing, and it kind of makes hoplite walls pretty micro intensive, honestly, because you're having to deal with that. Is there any cavalry left at either side? There's some skirmisher cavalry around here, which is now going to come into the fight and probably do a pretty good job if they can get onto these missiles. Oh my god, did you guys see that? A Legionary First Cohort firing in a volley of Pila, 300 of them javelins going in and just decimating this unit of infantry. The cavalry coming in, and I imagine these guys are now going to be moving in, looking to maybe throw some javelins in off onto the Pontic guys. If they have any left, and they're probably already thrown their 2 Pila. The cavalry's going to be moving in. I'm really sure, going into the back of the infantry, smart move right here. Take out the hoplites. They'll break them for sure with that charge. However, the Romans have also managed to get some of their infantry down here onto the Armenian archers, who are, I assume at this point, are way out of ammunition. So really a good sacrificial lamb. I mean, what a messy battle this has been. If we take a look at the bird's eye view, yeah, I mean, just walking from an ambush into, you know, this is pretty scary. And yeah, that cavalry is going to hit and run. Pikemen are in a pretty poor situation here. The Legionary First Cohort is seemingly trying to form up on this flank and just doesn't care who knows it. But it does seem like the Romans are being pushed back up the hill. Pikes are getting a very nice hit off on these hoplites. Hoplites can't really do much about it. Unless they double right click, it's almost impossible for them to get stuck in. Oh, a beautiful cavalry charge coming off here into what remains of the darts. I think these are dart slingers. Yeah, we do have dart slingers. And also the archers up here as well. The peltists fighting off the auxiliaries that the Romans have to offer. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very close battle. If a pike can be deployed effectively against the Legionary First Cohort, I think Pontus have this. But then again, Rome is Rome. And they are always a tough nut to crack. Goes without saying that it is hard to beat Rome. I mean, right now, advanced power is in favor of the Romans, I think, yeah, slightly. But then again, we could see a lot of these units breaking pretty tremendously. Rome is coming round, but the Pike's going to go down. Yeah, put them down, put them down. Nice, just in time, right on top of this Spartan Hoplite. This unit of Spartan Hoplites does break, so that does free them to either send this unit of Pikes back round into the Legionary First Cohort, or maybe just to reform and go in here to plug that gap. We'll have to see what ends up happening. But there's really not a lot left for either side whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, it just really comes down to Pike micromanagement right now. Obviously, we have a pretty brutal engagement up here as the last of the Pontic cavalry, which is silver experience, is looking to engage. However, the Romans are going to fall back and just try and do anything they can. And yeah, the battle is going to be pretty much over at this point, I think. Considering these guys are, they're finally turning around now, which is a good idea. But I mean, the Romans are already in close formation. The rest of the Pikes are trying to form up. But yeah, we've also now got Romans into the back of these pikemen. It's only going to be a matter of time now until the Romans do win this one. But my God, did they make it hard for themselves, I think. Really, really did. Putting themselves up against the pikeballs of the Pontic nations is yeah, a difficult beast to say the least. But yeah, now they're going to be able to fully invert this, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for this battle. You've got some javelins coming in still from a unit here. The Romans are finding their units. And I think maybe we got a small desync here. I am using the latest patch. But then again, maybe not. Maybe Pontus was just like GG at this point and not bothering to micro these guys. There's actually something I do notice quite a lot in these replays. I don't know if you guys notice too. When the battle does seem like it's over, the players do just get very sloppy and just like, yeah, GG, you've got me, and don't bother microing. Which is again, like in a head-to-head, I'm always like, no, god damn it, you're gonna have to make sure you kill every single one of my units if you want to claim this battle. I ain't stopping. I'm gonna make you bleed for every inch of my territory you take. Also, guys, there is a bunch more replays from this guy. He sent me in about 4 or 5 from his head-to-head. So if you guys want to see more of these, head-to-head battles from these guys, let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like. I don't really get too many Divided Impera replays. And again, if you guys have any DEI replays and make good ones, you know, not just small scale, but I mean, actually I don't mind small scale battle ones if they've got a lot of tactics involved. Send them in to me. I love Divided Impera. One of my favorite, it is my favorite mod of Total War probably of all time, besides maybe like Third Age. So send them in to me. Even if you just got good Rome 2 replays as well, I'm still looking for all of them. Basically, just join my Discord and drop them in the battle replay, or just drop me a DM on Discord. You can find me by joining my Discord and then just right clicking on me. Send them my way. I would, yeah, I'd love a replay. Oh, the Pontiff General is back here. I wonder why he stood like so far back here this entire time. Probably just because, yeah, I mean, it's a smart idea, right? 23 HP. He would have just been sniped. Oh my god, these crossbowmen. The Roman player knows what it's about. These dartslingers are running away. Yeah, in skirmish mode. Yeah, the last couple of units I think are now dwindling for the Pontic pikes. Especially if these Romans can get in on them. They're dealing with this. I'm surprised this unit of pikes held this long. Generally, when you engage a unit of pikes from the back, they get slaughtered very quickly and then break due to huge casualties sustained. This unit of pikes done a good job. Romans just preparing, you know, if this guy does turn and these guys go running in. And again, this unit right here engage. I think again, it actually really helps for you to actually engage both sides of the pike. As dumb as that sounds, you might just think, oh yeah, I just want to attack them from the back, but I think when we're attacked from the front, it creates a huge dynamic, and the unit does take way more casualties. You can see as well that the pikes are exhausted, they're fighting at 50% of their strength. And now the unit is, yeah, the battle is over, I think. GG indeed. We can probably just wrap things up. Triple speed for the last couple minutes of it, as these pikes get brought down. Pontic General giving up on life. Obviously, he's been ambushed, so he dies no matter what. I don't know if they can see. Oh, I can see him now. Yeah, just bringing him down. A couple of sniper shots moving in, and that's going to be GG indeed. So once again, a very interesting battle to say the least. Oh, sorry about that. Considering, you know, that the Romans did have the advantage, but it makes sense when you guys see the full roster at the end of the battle. It makes sense why the Roman player maybe didn't commit to a charge in, because he only has like 6 or 7 units of infantry, I think, and then a lot of skirmishers, and then maybe weaker infantry. And I think maybe, like, I think he would have been fine if he did commit fully to the ambush and hit them from both sides. But as you can see, like, he only has like 5 units of really good infantry, and these guys are amazing. These Pontic infantry, like, and the elephants as well. Like, so I don't definitely blame the Roman player for sitting up on that hill, because if you immediately start the battle, you charge from both sides. He only has like 5 units. He won't be able to cover the front. You know, if he hits a pikeman from both sides, the pikes will stay alive long enough for this infantry to then reinforce. Obviously, all the Armenian archers are dead, but he has a lot of missiles of his own, you know. 2 slingers, 3 crossbows, and then 2 dart slingers who did pretty decently. I mean, obviously, the elephants are just then in the midst of combat right away, killing everything. He did a pretty good job of, you know, avoiding these elephants. I think they died fairly early on in the battle. So, yeah, you know, that was a pretty good battle. Very interesting tactics, and that's why I always like to see that. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.